Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. My name is Kristen Brown, and as always, I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Katelyn Bellefontaine and Jane Nicholson. We're so happy that you're joining us here today to chat about something that our businesses really get mixed into a lot of the time. It's when to do free work, when to give a deal, and when to say no. So we can't wait to dive into this subject with you today. This is the Creative Hustle. We've all been there as new business owners, especially. So I'd love to get your guys' take on this subject.
For sure. So I'm going to dive right into free work because it's something that we all do.
Yeah.
We're all in the middle of right now. And I think every time we do free work, we're always a little bit like, oh, why did we commit to this?
Yeah.
But then on the other side of it, when it's all said and done, we're like, okay, that was worth it. Or I'm so glad that I participated
Style shoot
in that.
season.
Exactly. 'Tis the season for styled shoots. So free work to me is like mutually beneficial opportunities. So free work to me is not, hey, I'm getting married. Will you plan it for me? And I'll give you photos to share on my website or on your website. Free work is, hey, what is something that you've been dying to create that you're not actually getting hired to do right now? What is something that you want to bring to the market, or a new design trend, or a new idea that you want to create? Let's do it in a controlled setting where we're not working for anyone. There's no client in this situation. There's nobody paying the bill. And we're all just mutually benefiting from it. So free work for me looks like participating in a styled shoot, being completely in control of decor rather than, designing for someone else and their desires. I get to design for exactly what I'm looking, to create and produce. And then in exchange, I get images from it. I get a video from it. I get the experience. And in turn, I get to inspire potential customers who might be inclined to hire me and, seek inspiration from something that I've created.
Because that way you don't have a client being like, actually, I don't like this. Actually, can you change this?
Exactly.
An example of this I was looking at on Cake Babe's Instagram story not too long ago, and she was doing this really cool thing. It was a styled shoot, and she was creating this cake that was actually like there was a hole in the middle, like a hollow cake, and she was just talking about how I think the photographer of the styled shoot was like, what do you want to do like that you never get to do? And she was so excited because it was like this hollow cake, and it's like
opportunity.
Yeah, so it's so cool to do styled shoots, to do something different and something that you never really get to do, and then you can get those photos and then show clients how cool it is, and then maybe make that into a thing.
Totally. And the thing with collaboration too is the exposure of, we were talking in a previous podcast about this, but people are tagging you and you're seeing your name on their work. So would you see a videographer's name on a cake or a baker's Instagram? Probably not.
Not likely.
But in terms of a styled shoot, your name's on there. So perhaps a bride is going to Cake Babes for their cake and they're seeing an Aeronaut video on the page and saying, oh my gosh, I'm going to hire them.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to reach out.
Yeah. So everyone, just like through styled shoots, they're great because everyone is on an equal playing field, and then everyone is like bringing each other up because you're tagging each other. And
exactly.
Yeah,
we have to get out of the mindset of like, I'm only doing it for money. And I mean, like, obviously we need to keep our businesses afloat, but in terms of like collaboration, I think that's a perfect time to do free work.
Exactly. So the next thing that we're going to touch on is service trades. And Kristen and I are actually kind of in the middle of one right now. So service trades can be awesome.
Great.
As long as it's a service that you need.
Yes.
So what Kristen and I are doing right now is we just finished producing a 1-minute video for a chiropractic company, so Nautical Chiropractic. So they do acupuncture, massage, foot care nursing, kind of like everything. So for that 1-minute video, we're getting the equal value between the both of us in like massage
services.
Exactly. So for that's something that like I personally use all the time. And I mean, who doesn't love massage and all that stuff?
Exactly. And it's also, from our perspective, we're business owners, we don't have a benefit plan and like a health coverage plan. So it was perfect for us. And we see value in the amount that those services cost.
Exactly. It's a creative trade. It's a creative way to, get your health taken care of.
I know, exactly, because it's so freaking annoying because I always want to get massages and acupuncture, but it's freaking expensive. Yeah. And it always just comes right out of my pocket because like Kristen said, we don't have a benefits plan. So in that situation, I think service trades are great. Yeah. Now, if someone came to me and was like, do you need your farm lawn cut? And I'm just like, no, I don't own a farm. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. It has to be, useful to you, or it just doesn't make sense.
Definitely. When I was getting married, I was hired by Devin Jerrington, who owns 360 Fit, and he was a guest on the podcast before, and he was also getting married at the time, and we did a service swap. He personal trained me for 9 months leading up to my wedding, and I planned his wedding for him, and it was wonderful because I got a personal trainer out of it. We used my training sessions as planning sessions, and it was something that I was excited about, and I was probably going to spend dollars on anyways, so why not do a swap of services?
Exactly. It made sense for you.
It did at the time.
Like for us, like we would have spent our dollars on these services at the chiropractic clinic, so it made sense for us to do. Yep. Now, you probably will incur people who will say, I will trade you, like Jane said, lawn care for for your video. And you have to, you are running a business, right? So I think, like you just said, Katelyn, if you think about it in terms of dollars spent, like I would have spent money on this.
Exactly.
If you have to question, I think one thing you should do is question, would I actually spend money on this in the first place? No, you'll just mow your own lawn.
Yeah, unless you're like Katie and want the nicest lawn ever.
In the block.
That's true. If Nutrilon wants to do a service swap, I'd be more than happy to do that with them.
Sponsor us. The last thing I wanted to talk about was, I'm sure that we've all experienced this. I know we have. I can't pay you, but it'll be great exposure.
My favorite line.
What do you guys think of that?
Literally, I just cringe. And in some instances, yes, you need exposure.
Starting out, when we started out,
absolutely,
it was do free everything, do free indie social,
exactly,
do videos for peanuts, basically.
Yeah.
Because we needed that exposure. So to all you new businesses out there, you kind of have to do it.
Yeah.
It's a great way, and you need to build up your portfolio. It's just the way it is. But when you're like 2-3 years in, you don't want to be the company that always does it for exposure.
No, exactly.
You'll be a joke.
Well, the thing is the way that I look at it is I'm like, okay, is this a date that I would be paid anyways? Mm-hmm. Right? So if, say you come to me and you're like, okay, Kate, plan my wedding for me, and I will give you videos up the wazoo, and it'll be amazing exposure, and I'm going to do all of this for you, and I'm going to put you on blast. If it's a date that I was already, or I'm quite likely to actually be paid to do this work, then it's a hard pass, because let's be honest, I'll take the cash over the exposure any day. But if it's a Tuesday in February, or if it's, a unique location, if it's travel, if it's something, super interesting that, I don't have the opportunity to get paid for at this time, then I'm willing to consider it. But, if people are lining up at your door and they're paying you for your work, you're also doing your other customers a disservice by giving away your services for free just for exposure.
Mm-hmm. I think that in this digital age, we see it a lot from influencers. And we've been approached for like weddings, like, will you do my wedding video?
Yep.
Because I was featured on this website for my engagement shoots. Or will you do my wedding video? I'm an influencer. I have X amount of followers. That's great, but probably 80% of your followers aren't engaged couples.
Yeah.
Probably 80% of your followers aren't business owners and need a video for their website.
Exactly.
So you have to be really mindful of that. And I know it's so exciting when influencers reach out, because you're with them, you're liking their stuff, you're engaging, and like we have influencer friends that we love to work with. But then there are some people who are simply throwing out the exposure thing just to get free work, and it's kind of icky. It's a weird gray area.
It just all has to align.
It all has to align.
So one thing I'd be curious to chat a little bit with you both about is, how do we broach these conversations? So an email comes into your inbox, or someone slides into the DMs and they're like, hey, let's work together. It'll be great exposure. How do you handle that if you don't feel like it's the right fit for you?
In the words of Ariana Grande, you say, thank you, next. No, I'm just joking. Don't say that.
I think you have to like look at everything as a whole. So for example, Jane and I were approached to do a style shoot, and we would have loved to do it, but the venue really wanted the video portion of it.
And they were going to use it to promote how their location is like a wedding
venue, and it's a really beautiful location and such. But
essentially they were asking for video of the styled shoot so that they could use it as promo.
Exactly. And I think in this situation, the venue would have benefited so much more from just a corporate video. And I feel like we would have showcased more of like the pretty things in the styled shoot and, you know, the awesome work the planner did and design and decor. And that's what we would have featured. And then we know that our services could have been used by the venue in a much more effective way, by corporate video instead of a styled shoot video. So that was an instance where we like, A, we didn't have time to do the styled shoot, but B, we also said, well, we can't do this, but here's our corporate packages and we'd love to work with you. It wasn't in their budget, but at the same time, like it would have reflected poorly on us if they were using a video of a styled shoot for their venue, because we're not showcasing the beautiful greens outside and we're not showcasing the dance floor in a styled shoot. We're showcasing, again, like the tablescape, what the planner came up with, the
beautiful florals.
Exactly.
And we just thought in this situation they would have benefited a lot more from more of a corporate.
So did you propose that to them?
Well, we proposed it to the planner.
Right.
And it's not in their budget, but I mean, now it's in their ear.
Exactly.
So you have to know when to politely decline.
Yeah. So I think, well, in that instance, it was like, well, we can't do this, but we can do this.
Exactly.
So maybe if someone reaches out to you asking for something similar, just say like, I can't provide this service, but here's a few other services.
Exactly.
Because we could have like definitely showcased their venue in such a beautiful light, but I don't think a styled shoot was the solution for it.
For video wise.
For video, yeah.
In my world, like no is never a final answer. And we've talked about that even
Kristen.
in our Kristen. So when I'm saying no to something, I'm always countering with another offer. So if it's no, I can't participate on your styled shoot from a planning or design perspective, but I'd be happy to make stationery through Elegant Paper Co. for you. Or no, I can't unfortunately work together with you on this event or on this opportunity, but I'm very much looking forward to future things. So, it's always like, when you say no to someone, they've put themselves out there and they've taken a risk to ask if you'd be willing to participate on this with them. So I think if you can approach it in a kind and sort of graceful manner rather than just like a hard no and go.
For sure.
Definitely
it's always more well received.
No hard no's.
Yeah, no hard no's. Yeah. We were also approached about the styled shoot elopement.
Yes.
And so we're in like this really weird, busy season, like in our personal lives.
Yeah.
We're just trying to tie up loose ends before wedding season when we have time to do it. And we have an intern on and we're tying up some corporate stuff. So we were asked to do a video of a styled shoot and an elopement on the same day in the same location. And we just didn't have time to do both. Yeah. So we just said, yes, we'll do this, but we can't do this. And the person organizing wanted both. And that's fine.
Yeah, it was a super cool idea and everything, but we just weren't capable of doing both.
So we just politely said like, okay, like sounds good. And we parted ways and hopefully we can work with that person again in the future. But know your limits. And I know like everyone's like we learned in college, say yes to every opportunity that comes your way. And we try to do that. And we had that mindset coming into this business, but now we're thinking in terms of dollars. And that's what makes you a business owner, that makes you a boss, an entrepreneur, is you think your time is money.
Exactly.
So when people are out here, do this for exposure, do this and this, like you have to find even if it's just one piece of value for your business and your time, because time is money.
Or for your soul,
Exactly.
If it makes your heart happy, then do it. And if it doesn't, then don't do it.
Exactly. Well, great. I think that wraps things up.
Well, great. So if you guys have had any instances where you felt a little troubled by an ask of you to do free work or for exposure, we would love to hear it. And we would love to hear about how you dealt with it. We always want to engage with you guys on Instagram. So hit us up at the Creative Hustle Podcast. Please like and subscribe this podcast on iTunes, on YouTube, on all the things. Our website will be launching very soon, and we can't wait to share that with you as well. So until next time, keep hustling.